Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you are doing very well. Guys, today's lesson will be about reflection. Let's see how light reflect and what happens when the light rays are going to reflect. Bismillah. Light reflection is bouncing back or reflecting off light. When the light comes from the source on an object, this is going to reflect, bounce back to another side. So we call this light reflection. The light, for example, here, you can see here clearly, the light comes from the source to the mirror, then reflect to the other side. You see, bounce back, reflect to other side. For example, how can Sophia see this tree? The light rays comes from the sun to the tree, hits the tree, then reflect off from the object, from the tree to her eyes, then she can see the tree. And the light rays hit the flamingo, then reflect off to the water. The water is gonna make the image. Images here, the plane mirror, for example, an example, which is a flat mirror. You can see yourself inside or whatever else inside the mirror. Why? Because, for example, you are here. The light is going to hit your body and reflect the light from your body reflect off this light. This reflect to the mirror. The mirror is going to make your body, your image, okay, maybe your face or not you, whatever else in front of the mirror. The important thing is that you have to know that the light rays must hit the object, then reflect to the mirror. The mirror is going to make the image. Without light reflection, there is no image in the mirror. If you go into a dark place in front of a mirror, you cannot see anything. You need light to see something. Why? Because mirror is going to depend on reflecting light. Without light, there is no image. When you give light to the mirror is going to give you an image. So the mirror image is the reflection of something, not only you. Whatever else we said in front of the mirror is going to make the image. But by what? By reflection of light. Where whatever you see in the mirror is the reflection of light, reflecting of the object. For example, you see yourself here. This is not real you, this is the reflection of you. You see a book inside the mirror. This is the reflection of the book. But which reflection? Light reflection. 100%. This is light reflection inside the mirror. Light comes from the source to your body to the mirror. The mirror is gonna make the image. So we have to know some things here, that the light comes from the source. What's the name of the light? And the light that reflect off, what's the name of this? The light that comes from the source is incident ray. Incident ray is the light that comes from the source of the light. For example, this is incident ray. Light comes from the source, which is the sun, and the light that comes out from the object reflect off from the object. We call this reflected ray. And this ray comes from the tree is reflected ray. It means we have incident ray, reflected ray. The light that comes from the source is incident ray. The light reflect off from the object is reflected ray. By these angles, by these arrows, you're gonna understand which one is coming to the mirror, which one is going from the mirror. The one that coming to the mirror, from the source to the mirror by this arrow, this is incident ray. It has another name which is arriving ray. And the light rays that goes from the mirror, reflect off from the mirror, is reflected ray. So normal is the center. The line on the mirror, we call this normal. It's going to make 90-degree with the mirror, not with the incident ray, with the mirror. Be careful. This is the normal and this is the mirror. You see, it's gonna make 90-degree because it's exactly straightly on the straight on the mirror. So until now, light reflection is bouncing back or reflecting off light. And plane mirror is the flat mirror. And mirror image, the reflection of something in the mirror. Whatever you see in the mirror, this is called mirror image because the mirror is going to make it. So whatever you see in the mirror is the light reflecting of that object. We said that wherever you see is the reflection of light. Light comes from the source, hit the object, and reflect to the mirror. Like here, also we have not only mirror, not only image. We have light reflection that comes from the source, then reflect off to their eye. We said, until now, Incident ray is the light that comes from the source to the object. Reflected ray is the light that comes from the object off. Reflect off from the object. And we said normal is the center, a straight line between them. So why do we need this normal? To know the angles. Which angle? We have incident ray, of course we have incident angle. We have reflected ray, of course we have reflected angle too. So what is incident angle? When you know what's incident ray, you know incident angle easily. Because the space, the amount, the place between the incident ray and normal, we call this incident angle. And this space between reflected ray and normal is reflected angle. We have these two lines. One comes from the source to the mirror, another one from the mirror to other side. So we call this angle incident angle, which is the space between incident ray and normal, and reflected angle, which is the reflected ray to the normal. These two spaces. But you have to know something else here. When you send the light, when the light travels straight line, in a straight line, it will reflect straight back. Look at this part. When you send the light straightly, it's gonna come back straightly. And also, if it hits the surface at an angle, whatever, 25, 20, 30, 35, whatever, it will reflect that same angle. We studied this to understand this part. When you send the light, you have an angle here. Normal to incident ray is angle of incident, right? The incident angle. If it is 25, the reflected angle must be 25. If it is 35, the reflected angle must be 35. Otherwise, this is not true. So if you see a picture or diagram or something, these two are not equal. You could directly say this is not true. So because these two spaces must be the same. Between incident ray and normal ray, normal must be equal to reflected ray and normal. This space is how much must be equal to this space. So the angles that each ray makes with the normal are equal. Incident angle equal to reflected angle. If you look at this, the light comes from here and reflects off. And when they draw the normal, you see, the angles are the same. This angle with this angle. Look at this. So it means we have incident ray, the light that comes from the source to the object, to the mirror, and reflected ray, which is the light reflect off from the mirror or from the object. And we have incident angle, which is the between normal and incident ray is an incident angle. Between normal and reflected ray is reflected angle. So easy. The names are very close to each other. You can just recognize easily. So let's go for the other part. Guys, incident ray, we call this arriving ray 2, is the light ray that comes from the source of the light to the mirror. Look at this. From the source to the mirror. This is incident ray. You see? This is incident ray. The light that comes from the source, this is incident ray. And reflected ray is the light ray that bounce back or reflect off from the mirror. You see? From the mirror to the other side. From the mirror to the other side. This is reflected ray. So that's whole the movement. From the source to the mirror reflect off. This is incident ray comes from the source, and this is reflected ray to go to the other side. We studied this too. Like the ball, when you throw the ball straightly, it's gonna come back to your hand straightly. But if you throw the ball in an angle, it's gonna go to the other side in the same angle. You see the normal is here. The normal is going to be between these two, the center. This angle must be equal to that angle. So if you throw something straightly, it's gonna come back straight. If you throw in an angle, it's gonna go to the other side in the same angle. This is the same picture with the other side. Normal is the line drawn at the right angle 92 degree to the surface of the mirror. I told you in the other side. This is the normal and this is the mirror. This is going to make the 90 degree with the mirror. So, and we have periscope, guys. By this reflection, for example, we can have many inventions. So for example, in here they have this simple thing like the periscope is an instrument that you see the other people from the backside cannot see. How can they see the ray? How? Whatever else if they want to see. For example, this one wants to see the tree, or maybe someone inside the water want to see outside of the water. How? So they will look at this side, then they will see outside. How? Because the light reflection comes from the object to this mirror. This is a mirror here, and this mirror reflects to this mirror. This mirror is going to reflect it to their eyes. So it's so easy. The periscope is an instrument that with the mirror angled the mirror arranged with which angle? The suitable angle, which is 45 angle, to reflect object clearly. If you want to see everything clearly, these mirrors must be arranged in 45 angles. Be careful. The mirrors in the periscope is 45 angle. Okay, the mirrors in the periscope sat, or you can see stabled in 45 angles. Okay, this is 45, this is 45 too, so be careful. The mirror of the image the mirror of the periscope is which angle, arranged in which angle to see clearly? Of course 45. We must put it in the periscope, the mirror stabled or set in the periscope in 45 angles, then they can see whatever they want clearly. That was today's lesson, guys. The reflection, which is reflecting light, and you can, by this reflection, your face or your body or whatever else reflected the like kind of mirror or water or whatever else, they will make the image by this reflection. And also for the reflection of light, you have to know three main things, like what's incident ray, which is the light ray that comes from the source, and what's reflected ray, the light ray that reflect off from the object. Not only mirror, guys, I just gave an example for the mirror, but any object like reflect off from you to the mirror is going to make your image, right? Reflect from the tree to the someone's eye, then they can see the tree. Reflect from the you to my eyes, then I can see you. You see, the reflection is like that. Normal is the drawn right and like straight line, which is make the angle 90-degree on the mirror. By this normal we can find the incident angle and reflected angle. The distance between the space between incident ray and normal is incident angle, and the space between reflected ray and normal is reflected angle. And the periscope is an instrument that by this reflection, you see, we said we can have invention. For example, periscope is an invention that they will set the mirrors inside the periscope in 45-degree, in 45 angles, you see, degree of angles, but then they can see everything clearly. So that was today's lesson. I hope you understand everything, and if you have to know these two. If you throw the light straightly, it's gonna come back straight. If you throw the light in any angle, it's gonna go back in the same angle. It means if incident angle is 25, the reflected angle must be 25. If the incident angle is 45, the reflected angle must be 45. You have to know these things. And that was today's lesson. I hope you understand everything, and if you have any questions, you can just write down. I'm gonna answer you. Best wish.